caught by a police report, how I discovered my wife's affair and burned it all down. They say the pen is mightier than the sword. I never thought I'd learn that lesson from a police report of all things. But it turned out to be the very thing that ripped my marriage apart and revealed the ugliest truth about the woman I thought I knew best. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and keep watching, because the best part's coming up next. For most of my life, I've been boring, in the best way possible. I never craved chaos. I wanted peace, stability, and a simple family life. That's why marriage seemed so right for me. I thought my wife was the perfect person to share that with. She was steady, thoughtful, and serious about her future when we first met in college. She wasn't a party girl, she wasn't messy with her emotions, and she had only dated once before me. She seemed safe. She seemed right. And for a long time, I really thought we had something rare. 12 years together, 8 years married. Sure, we had little disagreements, but nothing earth-shattering. Even when she landed a job in another city and we had to uproot everything, we approached it like a team. She was ambitious, and I respected that. I gave up the comfort of our old life, my circle of friends, and moved with her. I thought that was just what marriage was, choosing each other over everything else. But everything I thought I knew came crashing down, not because she confessed, not because of gossip, but because of one stupid accident and the report that followed it. When we moved, she started driving more often. Back in our old city, she relied on her bike and public transport, but here driving was a necessity. And to be honest, I never felt great about her skills behind the wheel. She wasn't reckless, just careless. The kind of driver who tells you, the curb came out of nowhere, and laughs. I tried not to nag, but deep down I worried it was just a matter of time before something serious happened. And of course it did. One afternoon she called me crying. Her voice was shaking, and for a split second my stomach dropped. I thought she was badly hurt. She said the airbags had gone off, but paramedics cleared her. The car, though, was probably totaled. I immediately told her I'd come to the accident site, but she kept insisting I shouldn't. She told me just to meet her at the hospital instead. That alone felt strange, but my priority was her safety. I shoved the unease aside. When I finally saw her in the ER, she looked fine. Bruised but not broken. I told myself that was all that mattered. She was discharged after a few hours, and I spent the next couple of days fussing over her, cooking, checking in constantly. She brushed it off and went back to work soon after, acting like nothing had happened. I tried to do the same. But then came the police report. I needed the report for the insurance claim, and she casually told me to pick it up. I don't think she realized just how detailed it would be. Or maybe she thought I wouldn't actually read through it carefully. I did, and what I found made my blood run cold. Yes, the accident was her fault. She rear-ended someone, not because of speeding, but because she wasn't paying attention. That didn't shock me. What gutted me was this. She wasn't alone in the car. The report listed a passenger. His name? Jeff, her co-worker. The same guy she had introduced me to. The one I thought was just a friend. I'd never felt threatened by him before. He seemed harmless, just part of her social circle. But now, seeing his name on that paper, I felt my chest tighten. The officer even noted how Jeff was eager to leave the scene. He didn't want medical attention, didn't want to stick around. He bolted as soon as he could. Why? Why would a supposed friend run off instead of making sure she was okay? And why, in God's name, hadn't she told me he was with her? That night, I asked her calmly if there was anything about the accident she hadn't told me. She shrugged, said no. I pressed her. Was she sure? No passenger? She looked confused, acted like she forgot. Then, When I mentioned the report, she finally admitted Jeff had been there. "Slipped my mind," she said. Slipped her mind. I wanted to scream, but instead I asked why he'd abandoned her so quickly. She had no answer. Then I asked why she was even with him during work hours. That's when she scrambled for a lie. She said Jeff needed to buy a gift for a relative, and she drove him. A ridiculous excuse. Their company isn't the kind where you can just vanish midday. I could practically see the lie forming in her throat. But I didn't challenge it, not yet. I pretended to believe her, because I knew if I accused her now, she'd cover her tracks even better. The next day I went through her MacBook. Her iMessages with Jeff were too clean, too sterile, sanitized, deleted. On Facebook Messenger, there were hints of flirtation, but nothing explicit. I nearly gave up until I checked her email. Like what you see? Click like, hit subscribe, and stay tuned. Let's keep going. That's where I found everything. She and Jeff had been exchanging emails with dates, times, and locations. At first, they looked harmless, but one of the dates matched the day of the accident. And the locations? Hotels, not every time, but often enough. That was all the confirmation I needed. My wife wasn't just emotionally close to Jeff. She was having an affair. Still, I wanted undeniable proof, something she couldn't twist into another excuse. So I hired a private investigator. The PI followed her during one of the planned meetings. I'll never forget the moment he called me. He didn't send me photos immediately. He wanted me to come to his office, but his words alone crushed me. Your gut was right. At his office the next day, he showed me pictures of my wife and Jeff meeting up. Getting into his car, walking into a hotel, they held hands as they left. According to staff, they'd been regulars for at least 6 months, showing up 3 or 4 times a month. I felt like I was going to vomit. 6 months of lies. 6 months of sneaking around while I played the loyal husband. When she got home that night, I confronted her. This time I didn't hide what I knew. I told her straight. I know about the hotel. I know you've been cheating. She tried to deny it at first, but when I mentioned the exact day of the accident, that she had been with Jeff because they were headed to another secret meeting, her face crumbled. Finally, she admitted it. She said it wasn't supposed to last, that it was just excitement, something stupid she thought she could control. She told me it was never as good as being with me, as if that would ease the betrayal. She got down on her knees, begged me not to leave, sobbing about how sorry she was. But I knew the truth. She wasn't sorry for cheating. She was sorry she got caught. So I told her to pack her things. She had 15 minutes. And she left. The divorce was messy, but I had the upper hand. She had a good job, she was self-sufficient, and she was the one who blew up the marriage. I kept the house, refused to pay her a cent more than I had to, and walked away clean, but I wasn't done. I wanted her to feel the pain she'd caused me, so I contacted her boss. I handed over proof that she and Jeff had been carrying on their affair during work hours, even around company assignments. Her boss, a divorced man himself, wasn't sympathetic to her side. Both she and Jeff were fired. That set her off. She showed up at the house screaming, throwing things until I threatened to call the police. Before she left, she hurled a plant through my window. My security cameras caught everything. I didn't stop there. I shared the PI's photos and the security footage with our mutual friends and her family. The fallout was brutal. Her parents were crushed. Friends were shocked. Her reputation collapsed. I thought she might stop after that, but then my car got keyed at work. Hood up, security cameras again. Another report filed. At this point, ruining her life feels less like revenge and more like justice. She set fire to our marriage. and I'm just making sure the ashes stay scattered. I never thought I'd be the type of person to feel joy in divorce, but I do. I'm free. I survived the lies, the betrayal, the humiliation. And now she gets to live with the wreckage she created. Sometimes life has a twisted sense of humor. I found out about my wife's affair not through whispers, not through suspicion, but through a routine police report. Just a few typed lines on paper that pulled back the curtain and showed me the truth. And in the end, that truth set me free. You know, hearing this story really makes you think about trust and how fragile it can be. It's heartbreaking when someone you love most betrays you in such a deep, calculated way. But honestly, the way he handled it, with patience, gathering proof, and finally standing his ground, shows real strength. Sometimes walking away is the only way to reclaim your peace. This isn't just a story about betrayal. It's about finding freedom through truth, no matter how painful. What would you have done if you were in his shoes? If this story hit you hard, smash that like button, subscribe for more real-life stories, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you think about trust, betrayal, and justice. Let's talk.